I'm just gonna record now and we can cut or whatever. You can chop it up.
Okay, I was cracking it open. Oh, 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 uh-huh. I love that we have our signature. Let's go.
Crack it
We're
open.
mm, 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 mm. Girl.
Um,
Here we are.
Here we are.
Wrong coffee.
Uh, Cheers to the coffee.
Here's the rapid heart rates.
Cheers to the rapid heart rate. Tell you that I bought these molds to make these little like ice balls, and I'm so excited about it.
Tell me about these ice balls.
Look at that ice. Well, you can't really tell right now, but you kind of see them.
They're fun.
Cheers. They are
That
very fun. I just started making them yesterday.
that's sweet. I love that. That's fun. See,
Mhm.
those are like the delicious pieces of joy we get to insert in our life.
Exactly.
Ice
Insert here.
balls.
Ice ball in here.
But but seriously,
I will
like
take all the ice balls. No, 100%. 100%.
I'm not mature enough for this conversation.
Mm-mm. No, but that the little bitty pieces because this little iridescent cup and these ice balls just
I'm telling you, that's the joy for me. It's these pieces of like little pieces of magic that are inserted throughout our day
yeah.
that we're choosing to live that way. We're choosing
Yes. We're choosing
the ice balls.
to I'm choosing to create the ice balls
Yeah.
because I know that when I bring out that little tray of ice balls and pour them in my I feel I feel something.
I know.
I
I know.
feel it.
It's you're like, I feel it up in here. I look, I get it. It's like those simple joys that it's the reason I buy myself flowers. Like I buy
Amen.
myself flowers and I light candles and I set the mood for myself. You're welcome.
Who do you set the mood for again?
Myself.
Self.
You
Why?
said that.
Because you are the dream.
I am the dream. I am the dream. That's right. So yeah, because I think sometimes when I speak into like taking care of ourselves and choosing ourselves, sometimes I get a response of like, well, what does that mean? Ice balls, that's what it
Ice
means.
balls are self-care.
Yeah,
Self-care, ice balls makes my day a little bit more magical, fantastical, whimsical.
exactly.
It's the reason why we surround ourselves with, you know,
The things.
stickers and look at these beautiful colors. That, look at what I
Exactly.
did today.
Oh gosh.
Well, I put together because of Hermit
That's
Year
gorgeous.
and I printed it on sticker paper. So I'm
Whoa.
going to do a whole like, this is the one that started it all.
Wow.
I was
Like
looking because I really want us to like sit in the Hermit Year energy what we
yes.
started talking about. And I was looking specifically for a female hermit. The artist is Fyodor Pavlov
Beautiful. That's gorgeous.
and had my heart. Yeah.
Oh, I know. That one caught my
Come
eye.
on.
I was like, get out of here with
Get out
that.
of here. Like,
Just
come
kidding.
on.
Bring
I
it.
wish I had the artist name here, but yeah, get out of here.
But these are examples of the way we could sprinkle that dreaming energy, that prioritizing our joys,
Our
whatever
joy.
that looks like. More of that.
Because I deserve the ice balls.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
Sorry, I'm not more mature.
Um, so
I'm just copying you. Do you see me?
where,
We're just mimicking you. Like, oh, it's clap time.
okay, where do we begin?
what's on your heart in this moment? Like what's on your heart, like bubbling up? I've got an idea, but I want to hear what's on your heart.
Well, no, you give me the idea.
Okay.
I know what's in my heart, but I want to hear now
You're
what's in
like,
your
it's
heart.
my heart. I know what's on it.
Hmm.
I would love to explore, because I've been curious since you brought it up a while ago, this boundaries piece.
Oh,
I know.
yes.
I know.
Why isn't my candle turning on? Hold on, I have a situation.
Got a situation.
Maybe I ran out of battery. I need more batteries. Boundaries. Okay, what's in my heart will combine the two forces
Okay.
is how incredibly magical and bombastic and like ridiculous February is.
Okay. I'm ready for that.
This right here
Mm,
are just but a few of the dates that I sprinkled in that are key in February.
that's a ton of dates. That's amazing.
So we're sitting right now where yesterday, as we record this, we had the new moon in Aquarius. So we're still in that energy, plus the Chinese New Year, the year of the snake. Today, Uranus is going direct in Taurus. And Saturday, we have Imbolc, like just in this cluster of days alone. And there are so many other, and again, I focused on the dates that were on the occurrences, the astrological occurrences that were most aligned with our era of the dreamers
Mhm.
energy and our movement that we're building. So a lot of Neptunian energy, which is very dreamy, a lot of Venusian energy, which is very artistic and about that inner sense of knowing. Um, a lot of Mercury energy because it's all about communication. We will be entering Pisces in this month. We'll have a full moon in Leo, which is all about that, um, you know, you are the dreamer, big like, hear me roar.
Yeah.
I am the dreamer, hear me roar. Just it's like the tiny month that packs a massive punch.
I mean, it sounds
And and you're gonna love this. February 28th, did you know about Cake Day?
I did not.
So
I did
first of all, I'm looking through. I have a couple of resources. So I have this book called Shedding Shadows with just
not.
the astrology of 2025 by Gail Eden Sasson. And so this is the first time I'm using one of his resources. But he basically marks like just a lot of really great information. The way he describes it is all very digestible,
Yeah.
amazing. And then I was looking at another online calendar with some more like witchy dates and things to like supplement. And then I see Cake Day. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm already thinking about how we're going to celebrate an era of the dreamer style Cake
Okay.
Day. But then I looked into it a little bit more, and it is actually a day to offer cakes to deities and candles to ancestors, honoring their presence and guidance. So this is not just about the delicious, fantastical cakes. This goes beyond. So, of course, immediately I thought about your book and the work you've been doing with ancestral work there.
What day is it again?
February 28th.
Oh, it's day after my grandma's birthday.
Yes, because your grandma's birthday is
The
February
27th.
27th, which is the new moon in Pisces, which is really like the beginning. So right now it's almost like, okay, we've been in this preamble for Era of the Dreamers.
Right.
We haven't hit it yet.
Uh-uh.
No,
No. I could feel it.
it starts on the 27th. We've been
Wow.
literally just getting ourselves like primed for it.
Yeah.
And then February 27th, I just wanted to make sure we were recording, by the way. I was like, don't miss the juice. So then we roll right into Cake Day.
Cake day.
So February is packed with
Wow.
magic, intuition, beauty, um, confidence, communication, action through that lens of Era of the Dreamers. And we also have these like beautiful milestones around Valentine's Day, which I think we can like Era of the Dreamer Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Because it has its things, but Valentine's Day is beautiful, like just the idea of it. So how
True.
do we make that like a really delicious, dreamy experience for the dreamer in all of us? And it's just,
Like, I also want to share
yes, please.
that, on I'm not going to focus on the card because I'll get distracted because I'm shiny object sage. But you know how I pulled the cards one for each month on winter solstice? My
Mm-hmm.
card for February comes out of the Mother Mary Oracle, and I picked Our Lady of Passion.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay. So as I'm listening to you, I'm like, wait, wasn't my card for February Our Lady of Passion? Sure was.
Mother
Sure.
Mary is my homegirl.
Sames.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I tell you that part of, first of all, I'm thinking a couple things. There's so like the shiny objects galore. We should make cakes for Mother Mary on that 28th.
Okay.
Like you make your own version of a cake, and I'm going to make my version of a cake
Okay.
for Mama Mary
Yeah.
because I didn't realize she was so much of your homegirl.
Yeah, I've got Our Lady of Guadalupe uh tattooed on my
Girl.
forearm. So like there's different versions of Our Lady, our mother,
Hmm.
that I'm drawn to,
Yes,
but
same.
Guadalupe has been like, yeah. She since I was young, like a teenager, was very drawn to her. I mean, I think I got this tattoo when I was like 20.
Yeah.
Like I have been, and then Our Lady, Mother Mary, like, yeah.
Yeah. I also have a strong connection with Guadalupe because a lot of the we went on this like massive healing trip for Jules in Mexico 2022. And one of the stops that we did was to see her shrine. And
What a
I
dream.
have videos of, I mean, obviously the whole place was just incredible to be there. And I always felt a connection with her even from before. And of
Mhm.
course, in that moment in time, it was just massive. And so we went to the shrine. The shrine is like up, 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 up on this hill. So you walk the whole way. And Jules, who at the time was already, we were like pushing him in a wheelchair. He could still walk assisted. He
Mhm.
climbed all of those stairs with like, hand in hand with two guys from our group who were taking him up there. And we did this whole like beautiful, just it was like magical. Or there was one of the many stops that we did on this very like healing trip. So yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, she's like front and center. I have other examples too, which I'm sure as you do. So cake day, Mother
Back to cake.
Mary, back to cake day. We're gonna bake her a cake.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I was thinking, which was also connected to was it connected to Mother Mary? It had to be. Oh my God, I'm forgetting. It'll come back.
Okay.
Um, because Mother Mary is our home girl. Mm,
Mother Mary is
okay.
your girl.
This is it. This is it. Okay. So before, as we were wrapping up last year, I had, I've started to pick up on the experiences and the energy for this year. And we've talked about the whole idea of spiritual bandwidth. And for me, this like whimsical energy, it was like a combination of things. There was like a pink snake, but
Okay.
very pink and very like feminine.
Hmm.
Um, Iridescent, pink, feminine. And it was like Mother Mary. It was this pink snake.
Hmm.
And it was this energy of like whimsy, which I found really interesting because I was picking up that whole vibe while we were in Samhain, like right around Halloween time. And
Right.
typically at that time, we're in this sort of darker. But it was such a pure, like luminous, just pink, incredible energy. But again, with that power of the snake, of that transformation and the transmutation that's happening this year. And Mother Mary,
Oh,
like
wow. Wow.
So yeah, just we keep weaving.
That's wild. I'm gonna share one more thing before I take
Yes,
us
please.
so I don't take us on too many side quests. But this is the image. And look,
Mm.
she's card number 9. I know. I know. This is
And ninth
2020.
card, the Hermit. This is the 9 year.
Yeah.
And something else that I wanted to bring to the table has to do with the new moons. So the new moon we just celebrated in Aquarius that we just honored happened at 9 degrees Aquarius. There are a total of 6 moons. It started in November of last year and rolls into like March, April.
Mhm.
6 new moons in a row that are all at the ninth degree of that particular sign.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was another thing. And I had like, okay, 6 new moons at the 9 degree point in a row, 9 hermit year. So,
My brain just
and this particular new moon in Pisces, which is really the beginning of the era,
Mhm.
we are in the preamble phase. Oh, by the way, look what I have here next to me. I got this in Portugal. It's a
Cool.
vintage, um,
Gorgeous.
uh, like image that people would put by the door
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like get the blessing. So you can see her face and the baby's face are a little bit worn down from people like kissing and yeah,
Oh, oh,
she's
that's
right here. So wow.
we're just I feel like we're like two kids bringing our treasures. We're like, oh
Oh,
boy.
oh
Oh
wait,
wait, but let me show you this. Look what I found.
what is even happening here?
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm trusting it and going with it
We
because
are, yes, all the trust. So February is,
oh, it's super dynamic.
yeah, super, super, super dynamic.
And I think after January, I am all open to that.
Yeah. And it makes sense too, because part of the reason why January is feeling, because we're still a couple days away from the end, is feeling extra slow and extra like lethargic is because everybody's pretty much is in retrograde right now.
Mhm.
So slowly throughout like the month of February, everybody's going to start to pop in. Like today, Uranus going direct is a big deal because he's been retrograde for a long time. Um, Taurus is very much a Mother Mary sign where he's working, right? Earth sign, the Empress sign. That's all Mother Mary energy. The Venusian energy is very Mother Mary energy. Um, so we're gonna have this influx of like, you know, I believe Mercury is also going to be, no, Mercury is already going direct. He'll go retrograde at some point. But the whole point is that there's a lot of retrograde action going on right now.
Yeah.
And that just creates this like period of kind of a slow and a review and a
Mhm.
review and now let's release, like release. So and this new moon in Aquarius, Aquarius is a lot about like the bigger perspective. So this
Mhm.
sort of like zooming out, which I think makes a lot of sense for what you and I have been popcorning back and forth around all these ideas that are like flooding our system.
Yeah.
I am just
Yeah. Same.
flooded. And so it's like it's that Aquarian energy, which is like sparks. It's also very Uranian. It's very much of that like the collective, the big picture, um, and this, yeah, like changing things up.
Yeah.
You go.
Well, I've always viewed like the Aquarius energy as being very dreamlike
Mm.
and being very much in creating your own world and which you live in. So I think that that's fascinating that that's the energy that we're in both it's the energy we're literally in and also era of the dreamers. It just kind of makes sense to be in that Aquarius energy
Hmm.
of because to me the Aquarius energy is not stuck in the mechanics. Aquarius energy isn't stuck in how do I get it done or the noise or the inner critic or all the things that I think normally hold a human back. The
Hmm.
Aquarius is so in it, in that dream state, that it's like, I really feel like we get to embody that Aquarian energy.
Hmm. Yeah, to add to that, Aquarius for me has also always felt like I've always described it as the the sort of the mad scientist in the laboratory, and not the mad scientist but like the scientist in the laboratory, which when I
Yeah.
say that it's like to me uh that creatrix energy where you're just like okay, like life is your laboratory, like laboratory of life. But the idea with Aquarius energy is it also has this like this focus and not about the mechanics, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
but it sort of hones in and it's just like experimenting, but in this sort of quiet space, which also reminds me of the hermit.
Mm-hmm.
So this like hermit kind of retreat into your own space where just the noise is irrelevant.
Right.
And that Aquarian energy always it wants to create something for the benefit of the whole, but it does it in a way where it really trusts itself. And it's not like, it's like, no, 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 I don't want to hear the noise, or I don't want to hear you like, you know, drop in your perspective on me or tell me
Right.
what to do. I'm just going to do it here. And I'm going to do it isolated. I'm going to do it in my own like space and time.
Mm-hmm.
But inevitably, whatever is generated there is like comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go help Jules and
Yeah.
Natalie. Do you want to keep talking or do you want me to pause?
Let's pause
Okay.
because I'll fill space up with weird shit.
All right. So where
Okay.
were we? You've had a chance to
Right.
percolate. I just went to help Jules a moment. So I'm counting on Sage to like to all now weave everything together in one beautiful tapestry.
Well, I think the biggest thing that's really landing for me right now is how January wasn't the like doors open, we're busting in, and you know, it's I'm laughing because for me that's how I plan. I plan that when I walk into January, it's like new year. Let's shift the energy. And January wasn't like that this year. So as we're talking about the energies and the astrological pieces and also looking at our own tidbits like my Mother Mary card for the month, and I'm just really seeing where February feels like the big stepping in
Hmm.
and claiming and like being open. And yeah, it's almost like January was like a dress rehearsal of sorts.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And yeah. And I I go back to, I think it was Word of the Year, and there was another somewhere as well that I was like, I remember saying maybe a quick audio that I recorded and shared at some point that I was saying this like December, the January was going to feel like nothing was happening, like very slow and very like nothing was really going to happen until February. However, well, not however. The interesting thing is, and that is going to be the marker for this year, is a lot of things have happened.
Mhm.
A lot of hard things have happened. A
Yeah.
lot of really dynamic external circumstance things are happening. It hasn't been a like a boring month. So the not happening was more having to do with what you're saying, that like I was like nothing is going to pick up like and the potential, all of it. I think you and I were, because we've been embarking in this work for so long and really exploring and taking ourselves to the edge, and because of this collision of visions that happened this year with the both of us,
Yeah.
I think we were like priming the moment and really tapping in and like pulling forward, right? So that we
Yeah.
can be even more like, here it is. Um, But
Yeah.
yeah, that February 27th is going to be before and after, not just even the beginning of a year, but really truly that is where like the era of the dreamers, that's the milestone.
Yeah. Opening night of the show.
That is the milestone. Yes, opening night of the show. And all of these metaphors make so much sense because this very Neptunian Piscean quality is also about show. It's about, you know, that aspect of that sort of dazzle that happens and all this Mercury energy that's just moving in all these interesting ways this month also points to that direction in terms of our communication, in terms of the vocalizing of all of these different pieces and what that means for each of us. It's
Yeah. I am so grateful that I've been constant in doing my own work
mhm.
and being in this flow because it wasn't that big of a challenge for me. I am incredibly grateful that I have been doing this work on a pretty consistent way because when January arrived, an era of the dreamers began, and I started feeling that shift that, oh, friend, all the things you planned, all of the things you thought were to be, probably not.
Mhm.
But I'm so grateful because I've been doing that work, I've been building my trust muscle with myself, my inner knowing muscle, like really paying attention to what is my intuition. And my intuition was like, follow this.
Yeah.
Like touching era of the dreamers, follow that energy, follow that flow. So there was no like panicking or going, oh no, my plans are not gonna, pan out. It was like, no, there's something here. And so I feel like that has been my last 2 weeks with you is
Yeah.
going, I don't know what's here, but I know it's where I'm supposed to be. So I'm just grateful that that work allowed me to be open to this experience.
I echo that so completely because we both had different ideas and views of what this year would be without
Yeah.
even knowing. And all of a sudden, this really like swept us up. And it feels like a culmination point that's opening up something completely new because I had also been feeling like a lot of the things that I was doing were in this like slowdown, and wherever I was holding on it was more of out of fear of losing the things I was doing or the momentum that I had gained. But in my heart of hearts I knew that things were shifting dramatically. I had a specific point like mid-October where it was just like dropped in, and then it was like, but then what? What
Yeah.
is this? And the the idea that something would so like out of nowhere and yet out of everywhere drop in and be like this answer that has been no efforting involved, zero efforting. Yes, discipline, showing up, creating, collaborating, communicating, like none of this would happen again if we didn't set up the things to do the thing. But no efforting from the standpoint of like, I gotta figure this out and I gotta like it felt like before everything was like, well, okay, how do I fit this into this mold? And now it's just like I am flowing into the mold, right?
The mold is fluid.
The mold, I'm like, the mold is just like, and I'm like, woo.
I love that. Yeah.
And I want to zoom this out for anybody experiencing this with us because you might think, oh, great. Sounds good for
Good for
MA and
you.
SA. Good for you. Listen, listen, listen. When you were saying that loud and clear, I was like feeling into this is a culmination point where whatever you've been working on, moving through, efforting through, whatever over the past like 5 years, guess what? Like it is now, but it will require massive trust, like she's been speaking into. It will require an aspect of community, which doesn't necessarily mean like the big community, although that could be it, but an aspect of you're not doing this alone.
Yeah.
Because all the dreams I've had in mind, I wasn't meant to necessarily bring them to fruition alone, and neither was Sage, clearly.
Yeah.
Like, at least these things that we've been cultivating for a while, we both have all these things that we've been wanting to do and to create. And we've been creating lots of other things
Yeah.
beautifully. But there were some that were literally like waiting, like just like simmering. Like, hold on, boo. But at the moment, we were probably like, but what? Let's go. I want to do this. Why, and then we listened. We were like, all right, I'll pull it back. And now, so whatever you've been feeling, allow yourself this month to sit in with celebration of all the ways you've grown, all the things you've learned, all the expertise you've acquired, all the hardship you've gone through, because it is coming to this culmination point where this new era for you begins. And we're here to happily hold this space of bubbling possibility.
Okay.
I,
Yeah. And I want to say too, I think what helped me get to this point of going, oh wait, here's this thing right here in front of me that I didn't even know or plan on or think about is I can't tell you how much time I spent in these past few years putting one foot in front of the other in absolute mystery and not knowing what was up ahead, not having any clarity, but completely going, I know if I just stay in movement, if I
mhm.
put one foot in front of the other, I only have to worry about one foot at a time. So it wasn't like the whole path was like illuminated. It was a lot of darkness that I felt like I have had to walk through to get to this point.
Oh
And so I
yeah.
say that out loud that it's a lot of
Yes.
trusting that you are going to get where you need to go. And it's not always going to be like sunshiny and clear.
But sometimes completely blind, most times completely blind.
Totally.
Also trying lots of different things, which also goes into the like learning about a lot of different things, trying things that didn't work, like trying things that maybe worked, some things in between. Um, the trust that which comes from that sense of like confidence and like, okay, I can do this is never like, oh, I can do this perfectly and I
Right.
know how this is going to turn out. It's more in the sense that I can trust that I can keep moving and that whatever comes up, I can figure it out in the moment. I don't have to have the whole thing charted out. Especially when it comes to things that are completely new and the willingness to let go of a lot of stuff too. Let
I was
go.
going to say, even the things that worked and worked
Yeah.
well, there's a
Yeah.
time where it's just time to let that go.
Yeah.
And I think that was maybe one of the hardest parts for me in these past
Yes.
half dozen years is knowing when it was time to do something different
Yeah.
and not holding on to something just because it worked. Um,
Yeah.
knowing that it was time for me to move on to something else. So lot of release, lot of letting go, lot of trust, lot of movement, lot of surrender.
Hmm.
But I always knew that there was something on the other side of the darkness, of the not knowing,
Hmm.
of the mystery. But it takes the travel and the journey, like to get through.
Hmm.
Stay the course, even though you don't know what the course is.
Oh, yeah. Just the one little.
One step at a time. So,
So, well, I'd love to hear from anybody who's watching this or listening to this. What are you feeling into it? Do you sense that there's like this culmination point, this sort of energy that's built up? And even if you can't, even if you don't, like, oh, you're still in sort of that, we're all learning also on different cycles, right? Like, just
totally.
bring in some space big, big, big cycles. It's not about the today and the tomorrow. It's about like zooming out a little bit. Um, while you notice the little tiny messages every single day that move you in the most mundane ways. But I'd love to hear, what others kind of feel into this if you feel like sharing. And we're sitting here at the beginning of February and we're saying like, there's still a whole month of incredible reveal, 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 reveal.
Yeah, we're
So,
very much in this
and
process.
we're here and we're like, hey, Sage and I from the beginning have said we have no idea what's going on, but we're so here for it.
Yes.
And shouldn't that not be the like overarching mantra forever? Like, I have no clue what's going on, but I'm here.
Yeah. And I think it brings us back to that piece that we shared in the workshop and we've spoken into several times is like now is the time to be listening to yourself.
Hmm.
And it doesn't even have to make sense in your brain, but it's that knowing, that feeling in your body. And that's always how I feel like I've been in life. I feel it before I got the language, right? And I'm like, sometimes it's so frustrating because I want to share, but I don't have the language for it, but I have the feeling, I have the knowing.
Yeah.
And so when we did this, I had that full
Hmm.
body yes. I don't know
Hmm.
what the yes is for, but I know it's a full body yes. And
Yeah.
so that takes so much courage. It's not, it's like courage to be willing to step into that unknown and then trusting yourself. Like, so beautiful and juicy.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, 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 we shall return.
We shall return. Yeah, we shall return. And we, again, I just want to back what MA said, really curious about what's landing for you. And if you don't have the language, totally fine. Like, but the feeling part, like,
Even if it's like something's landing, just like
totally. Yeah.
drop an emoji, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. Don't worry about the words so much because as
No,
Sage said, if
I
there was
don't.
and I was looking here at one of my journal things that I wrote. If there was ever a year to trust your inner GPS, it's this one.
Mm.
And I will die by the sword on that statement. I will die by the sword. If there was ever a year to trust your inner GPS, which is what you so just eloquently like eloquently. I love that. It's what it is. It's the messy eloquence.
Yeah.
You and I have a lot of messy eloquence.
Look, I'm still finding the language.
I
Like I am attempting to show up and share, not really knowing and having the language and trying to convey that. And I'm like, I want to make sense for the peoples. And I'm trying really hard over here, but I'm also so much still in that full body feel
feel it.
era of the
Feel
dream.
it. Feel it. You're here. Feel it.
This is dreaming. This is being. This is living. I love it.
Whew. Well, friends, thank you for listening,
Yeah.
watching, joining, participating, feeling with us, dreaming with us, and to be continued.
We'll see you next time.
Hmm. Bye.
Bye.